What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hold Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Baba in the building. What's good, bro?
Not much, man. Looking forward to the discussion tonight. But want to quickly remind it, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Us a Podcast. And for those interested in shout-outs or promos, you can shoot us a DM on Instagram at Hold Us a Podcast, as well as email us at holdhuspodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man SD in the building, all the way from the shop. What's good?
Ain't nothing good over here, man. Right now it is 1 degrees outside. It feel like minus 18, and it's gonna get down to -3 tonight with a wind chill of minus 26. So
Nice.
you know,
Ooh.
if you
Damn.
in Chicago, I suggest you get in the house. Because shrinkage is real. I'm just saying. Hey, look. So first off, I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Production for always keeping the background audio fresh, and I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold the Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the core94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Family First. And we wanted to just kind of have a discussion about the importance of being family oriented or having a family oriented mindset in order to have relationship success in today's day and age. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending or going viral. And we got some real interesting topics this week. This first video was a video where a woman was questioning the logic of a woman being upset after she allows her man to have a threesome with a woman, being upset that the man will continue to have sex with the woman. Let's take a look.
Why do girls get mad if you just let your man do somebody else in front of you? Why do you get mad if he go double back with a chick? You already let him do it in your face.
Like you open that up
You
to him.
open it
I
up.
think like
You
that
literally
too.
opened the door.
I can understand the logic partially, but this is the problem that comes with threesomes. Like in the majority of the situations that I've discussed with other people, it leads to more problems than it's actually worth. Especially for people that are in relationships that open it up to other people, because of stuff like this. Because they'll feel so comfortable that they could. I mean, you cool with them having sex, so they'll not look at it like it's a big deal. But I think as far as trust goes, that's going to create the same type of energy as cheating, as any other cheating situation would. So that's why, you got to be real careful about opening your bedroom up to others.
Man, listen here, ladies. Let me explain something to y'all. Y'all might not know. In most cases, when you have a threesome with your guy, to us, that is the green light to cheat. It's the green light to cheat. Like old girls' assessment of the situation is really how a lot of men rationalize it, right?
But they don't say that though. They don't.
I get it. I'm not saying they do. What I'm saying is that's how the men rationalize it after the fact. Yeah, they might go along with it, but then it's like, well, if she can watch me smash a chick and not care, I know she ain't gonna care about me getting head after work. She can't possibly care. Like, she just watched me get head. So what the heck difference does it make? That's how men rationalize it. But on the flip side of that, if y'all set boundaries, which a lot of times there are boundaries in place before people have a threesome, right? And you decide to then agree to that and then go along and have threesome and all that, then of course you should stick by the boundaries that was set. If she say, hey, no sleeping with this person outside here, and you say okay, then you're 100% wrong for going to do it behind her back because you agreed to it. Now if you say, nah, come on baby, if you can watch me smash her, well, who cares if I get some head? And she cool with it, then whatever, do you. But I don't agree with that, man. When you in a relationship, for me personally, I don't want to have no another chick in there, man, in my bedroom.
I see what you. I mean, listen, there's nothing really that's peculiar about this, right? Once you kind of open that door, once you two agree to have a threesome and you open that door, I don't think there's any going back because he's like, okay, she's gonna watch and let me smash this thing. Okay, what other shits can I go smash? Just like as he said, he's gonna rationalize it because you already opened Pandora's box there. So I would say that if your relationship didn't start off by doing threesomes, I don't think you should introduce it in the middle of a relationship or in the middle of the marriage. Because I see couples do this where they introduce it, let's spice it up. So they introduce this in the middle of a marriage or a relationship, and then it just goes south from there.
But that's usually like a situation where like one person got talked into the threesome. You know what I'm saying? Like it's usually not like both of them just fiending to have a threesome where you see that kind of turmoil. But you're right. It's not the solution. It's not what it's made out to be like in songs and in movies and all that.
Right.
Yeah, there are certain situations where sex can pop off with multiple people or whatnot. But when it's something where, they rent hotel rooms and they on vacation and they make it this whole elaborate thing, sometimes you're not able to, in situations like that, you're not able to give the one person maximum energy for like one session. And so a one-on-one is the most logical thing. But that's a problem because like as D said, most dudes ain't gonna be telling you up front, if the pussy's really good, I'm gonna keep hitting it on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not. You ain't never heard a dude say that.
No, not in no relationship. I would like a relationship or a marriage or something like that. Absolutely not. I don't want nobody in my bed. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want my woman to come to me and be like, "Well, I let you have a chick. Now I want one in the pink and one in the stink." Like, wait a minute, one in the pink, one in the stink. What you mean, boo? I never looked at you that way. Now you looking at her like, wait a minute, you want another guy in here? Man, look at this hoe. I knew she was a hoe. And you were thinking different about it. It ain't like, I don't, for me, people do it. But for me,
I would say the only way that I can see this actually, working is if you're already into it, like if you're already a swinger couple, or if you're into LS, like what they call the lifestyle. Like if you're into that kind of stuff, that's the only way. Because you have some couples that do that, but that's the only way I can see that working. That's the funny stuff about that.
Go ahead. And I was just gonna say, like, not a lot of most. If you got a side chick or you got a home girl that's bi or something like that, that's when that type of situation can work. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have that type of situation with somebody that you trying to be monogamous with, it's always a real big risk.
Yeah, right. Man. I've been asked to be a third in a few girl relationships, man. And it's just, and I've had homeboys that was asked by husbands to come and smash the wives. Like it's crazy, man. Like
that's wild, bro.
That's wild, man. And I couldn't do it. Like one of my homies, I ain't gonna say his name, but he said his boss asked him to come and smash his wife. He was a Caucasian guy, and his wife had a thing for black men, and he asked him. This was when we was in our 20s. And he said he agreed to it. He went over there and was smashing his wife. And he was like, I said, man, what in the world was dude doing? He said, dude was beating off on the couch. I'm like, dude, you crazy, man.
What?
Ain't no way.
You're not supposed to do that kind of stuff, man.
Bro.
Yeah. First of all, some people into some stuff, dude. Like you.
To have the nerve for a boss to come to an employee with something like that.
Man. Yeah, man.
No. He risked it all for real. That's crazy. That's why. I mean, I try not to judge, man. I try to.
I judged him because that's my guy, right?
So you were proud of him?
Yeah, you risk. Listen, you risked a $250,000 a year job.
Oh wow!
For some 53-year-old coochie. Come on, man. Like, ain't no way. While another dude jacks off to you. No, sir.
Man,
no, sir.
My man had porn in real life. In real time.
Hey, man. But you know what? People are into a lot of things. And I know a swinger couple. Like, I know a swinger couple. I got a few of them that follow me, man, that's into that lifestyle where, the dude likes to see his wife, you know what I'm saying, getting off with other dudes, and they have threesomes with other guys where the dudes are smashing the wives, and it's just that's too much for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Even being the third and hitting the wife, even if the wife is attractive, I don't want to be involved in that, man. That's, to me, that's a marital bed, and I can't get down with it.
See, I had a couple of like orgy type situations, and I did my best to enjoy them, but I could never concentrate. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much going on.
Too many dicks in the room.
Yeah.
Say it. Yeah. It's too much wiener in the room.
I could never completely focus. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy one-on-one situations better. Like I said, it's just one of them things that the thought of it, you know, like fantasizing about doing it, I think is more enjoyable than a lot of the actual scenarios that go on.
Yeah, man, that's like you watching like if you've seen porn, everybody done seen porn. Man, these dudes bumping balls, man. What the hell is going on over here?
They at work, man. They doing this for a living, but you're right.
Man. Too many dicks in the room. Like, what's happening here, man? I went into a party one time, right? I gotta say this. I went to a bachelor party one time. I was early in my 20s, probably like 22, 23. I got there, you know, that was probably my first ever bachelor party going to. So I'm like, all right, this is gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I go downstairs in the basement. Man, this chick was on her knees with 10 dudes in a circle, going in a circle, sucking everybody off, and they jagging off. I'm like, no, this is too much going on here, man. Like,
that's doing too much, dog.
Some of these situations, yo, I've been in some wild situations, but I couldn't partake in that, man. That's too dirty for me, man. So,
man, that leads into our next topic, man. This next video is a clip from the Hardly Initiated podcast where they were talking with Dr. Umar about trauma leading to promiscuous behavior. Let's take a listen.
Emotionally damaged people are always sexually promiscuous. Let me say this again. If you are traumatized, if you are emotionally damaged, you are promiscuous. And do you want to know why?
Damn. Why is that?
Emotionally traumatized people require constant validation from others. You married to a woman who's been traumatized, abuse, abandonment, whatever. When you're not around her for too many days, she has to entertain another man because her trauma dictates constant validation. And constant validation means I must have a man in my personal space. You ever date a woman who was crazy about you? She absolutely loved you, so you thought. It was really addiction.
Yeah.
When you finally let her go, when you finally got her to stop stalking you, she ended up with another man like that. And your ego took a hit. You said, wait a minute. I know that woman was crazy about me. Climbed in my window, came to my... You understand? She was... She was crazy about your presence in her life. And the minute you distance yourself from her life, she found a replacement without a problem.
I think there's some truth to that. You know, there's no way to really quantify it. You know, it's something that can't really be verified. The problem I have with it is it's such a broad term is to say like emotionally damaged or emotionally hurt, being traumatized. Does that mean you had your feelings hurt before? Does that mean you were molested? You know what I'm saying? Like, or that you were sexually assaulted? Like it's such a wide-ranging term that it becomes hard to know exactly what somebody's talking about. But I guess you could say there's some truth to that. Like me personally, I don't necessarily look at it as trauma. I look at it as a blessing in disguise. But my babysitter's daughter molesting me or whatever word you want to call it.
How old were you?
I think I was about 8.
And how old was she?
She was about 12 or 13. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't actually penetrate, but I got to rub. What she said, I got to put my hot dog in her salad.
She tickled your tallywhacker.
but to say that, but I guess I don't know if that led to me being a hoe. I thought that was a result of my skill and expertise at attracting women. But it could have been a trigger from being traumatized.
Yeah, I personally never had no, no nothing like that happen to me as a kid. I grew up pretty good in a good household, never had no problems and nothing like that. But I think it's some truth to that, and especially for women more than men. Although you do have this type of thing happen to men, R. Kelly is one that can come to mind now, where he talked about somebody molesting him, his auntie or something. I can't remember who. And then we know the history of R. Kelly, right, with his sexual escapades. Right. But I think that women who are quote unquote hoes, really promiscuous, do have trauma because, and like I always say, it's not natural for a woman to behave that way because of the fact that a woman could become pregnant and not even know who the dad is, right? Who the actual father of this baby is. And most women don't want to put themselves in that position, right? So I think in order for a woman to put herself in those positions where we do have famous proud hoes out here, we can see the trauma in their lives, in the way that they talk, in the way that they carry themselves out here. We can see it because it's not natural for a woman to be that particular way. So in order for a woman to be that way and be really promiscuous and jump from man to man to man to man, she has to get rid of a part of her natural state as a woman, and that's bonding with one man, right? So in order to get rid of that, there has to be some type of trauma, some type of pain, some type of something that's there for a woman to want to do it. Whereas men are more naturally built to hunt, to spread seed, to multiply, to do all of these here things here. And I don't necessarily, I just think that it's in a man's nature for them to be that way. You know, it's just against their nature.
Possible.
It's possible. It's against their nature to settle down with one woman. That's why so many men have trouble doing it, because it goes against what their bodies is telling them to do. Whereas women, is the exact opposite. So I believe that more so for women than men, although it does happen for men too. Jay, what you think?
I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, like Terry said, it's a blatant statement. I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole interview, so I don't know if we got into specifics here. But I think there's some truth. There's some, for example, trauma responses where she's seeking attention and validation. I think there's some truth to that. Does it have anything to do with sex per se? Not necessarily.
Right, because it could be like her dad left her mom or something like that, right?
Right.
I guess I need more clarity. Is it direct trauma, indirect trauma? Like all of those things, because with it having such a broad term, it's like a blanket excuse. Anybody can say that they're just being a hoe because of trauma. I was being a hoe because I like sleeping with lots of different women. And
that's what men do.
Yeah, exactly. And as a man, I like the competition of competing against other men for those same women. So it stroked my ego to get those women to choose to have sex with me. So I don't know. I think I would have been like that no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
most, the men who can are. The men who can't wish they could be. Like that's just the way it is. Like, these here dudes, these women think like, oh man, all these dudes ain't like that. Yeah, y'all don't even want them guys. The guys that can't do it, they envy the men who can most times. And be hoes and get multiple women, because for a guy it takes skill, it takes charisma, it takes all the things that women love in order to be a hoe. So them guys who can't, they want to know, man, what you do, how you get all these women, what are you doing, how you getting your money, what kind of car you drive. Like they want to know what's up because they want to be like that. Success. Yeah, like it's just different for men, and even though women don't agree with it, that's just the reality of it. Men and women are different. And so for a woman to be that way and want to get with a bunch of men sexually, or be promiscuous and be out here like that, man, showing a body and all this here stuff, man. Yeah, I think
that's why it's so crazy. I was gonna say that's why it's so crazy when guys, a woman like that's just a known hoe or whatnot, for the dude to come wife her up and be like, "This is my wife." You know what I'm saying? Like
Ooh.
old boy to like marry Corinne Steffens and all that. Like,
Yeah.
dudes they just make themselves look so stupid.
Don't
because like obviously the woman has to be attractive to get that many men to want to sleep with her. But the fact that she's deciding to sleep with all those men, why would you want that to be the woman that you have children and raise a family with? And we're gonna get into that a little bit later with tonight's topic, but still that's Crash Dummy stuff.
Yeah, I remember when she told the story about her husband when she was married, and then Lil Wayne would call. She said she'd get up in the middle of the night and go to Lil Wayne no matter what time he called and tell her husband. She said she told her husband, "Hey, this here is just what it is." Of course, she ain't married no more. But I'm just saying, like, you can't turn a hoe. Yeah, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. It's not natural for women to be that way.
So can one say, okay, that's someone that's emotionally damaged?
She'll say it, yeah. Look at her.
I mean, I gonna say when you have these one-on-one conversations with a lot of these women and they tell you their story, it's usually some heartbreak. It's usually some bad decisions. It's usually some unfortunate circumstances.
Friends.
But I think that's something that we all have to overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't just be like promiscuous. I think most people are promiscuous because sex is enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the only way that women get to the point where they just start being like, fuck it, is if they feel like they can benefit off of it, or that their perspective on the exchange gets warped in some type of way.
I get what you're saying about sex being enjoyable, but the facts are that 75% of women do not orgasm from sex. A lot of these women ain't having this amazing sex. So you gonna go out here and be a hoe and sleep with all these here dudes, and you're not even enjoying it.
But if they went shopping, if she got, they view it.
There were benefits from it.
They view it as a financial. It's undercover prostitution where they looking at how much money or what tangible items they can get out of the dating experience. Just listen to their songs. They talk about they frown upon having sex for free or because you actually like a guy or just got horny. They feel like it has a price tag.
We live in the OnlyFans era, so hey, they're gonna try to monetize it any way they can nowadays.
Dig into their past. You don't think Sexy Red got trauma? You don't think Cardi B got trauma? You don't think that Sukihana got trauma? Just think about it. Corinne Steffens, you don't think that there's trauma there? Name me. Brittany Renner crying on there. I'm repulsed by my body count, and then a month or two later, I don't care. No, I don't regret any of it.
Yep.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like it changes something in a woman to be a hoe. The young lady that came on the podcast a few weeks ago who admitted that, hey, yes, I was this way, and then she started to have suicidal thoughts after that. After the fact, it's not natural for a woman to be that way, no matter how much they want to try to be like a man. And in order to be like that, to try to be emotionless, to just have sex for the pleasure, which men do because we come pretty much 100% of the time when we have sex. So it's really just for the pleasure, whereas a woman got to be emotionally connected a lot of times in order to have an orgasm with a man. The majority of women. So you get emotionally, you get emotionally tied and emotionally connected. Yes, there has to be some trauma there for you not to have those emotional connections with a man that you want to open your legs up to.
I would agree to that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's always an interesting topic. Talking about promiscuous behavior and trauma, we can do that forever.
And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying anybody is right or wrong or whatever. Gotcha. I'm just saying that we are different. Men and women are not built the same. No matter how much the audience and the ladies want to cry and complain about, oh, we can do the same things, and no, you all cannot. It's proven.
They can do it,
and through
they
study,
can do it. It just impacts them differently.
Not that you can't do it.
It impacts their feelings and it impacts their dateability. because men and women make different decisions when it comes to who they choose.
Yes,
Y'all,
and even the psychologist studies,
exactly.
right? Even the psychologist studies say that women are more likely to regret indulging in casual sex than men. We all know that. How many women have you met where she regrets bodies? She takes them off for one reason or another. She don't want to talk about it. Yeah, she don't want to talk about it. Whereas dudes be like, yeah, man, I don't care. I just smash shorty. Like, we're just different.
Yeah, because it's not our dating success is not as tied to our sexual reputation because it's inverted. The guys that have the most success with women or sleep with the most women, those guys are the guys I bet my money on to end up married to attractive women. You know, so like there's a reason that they're able to continuously meet attractive women, converse with them, have conversations that lead to face rides and back shots. That's a skill. That's a skill.
The face ride, like the staying alive during the face ride, is a skill, or like what we
the conversations. You got the stuff you say that you got to say
to get face rolled.
Do that
to get your face rolled into the mattress.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You're right.
So it's because it's a lot of dudes that talk themselves out of sexual situations with women, and so that you got guys that use money and I'll buy you this. Let me pay your rent. Let me do this. Like, and then you got guys that naturally attract women because of their swag, their aura, and what they bring to the table. Women just enjoy being around them. Women are attracted to how they present themselves in public, and so that's the difference between male hoes and female hoes. Females, all a woman got to do is she ain't even got to really be cute or have a nice shape to get consistent sex.
To get sex, she don't. She just got to be willing to give them a nut.
Exactly. Facts. All right, man. We about to take a quick break. When we get up out of here, man, we're going to be coming back talking about family first, the importance of having a family-oriented mindset. You guys are tuned into the Ho the Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho the Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Family First. We wanted to have a discussion about the importance of having a family oriented mentality and the results that has when it comes to relationship success. I don't know about y'all, but I one of the things that I feel like the generation that we came from, I feel like almost everything that we did was centered around family and or community, where that's lacking in a lot of the things that we see today in the movie, the TV shows, just society in general. But when I think about being family oriented, that's kind of the core of being a husband. Like, my desire to want a family is the only reason I do all the things that you sign up for when it comes to being a husband or a father. And so if you're with, I guess that's not really fair because you ain't got to be a parent to have a family. But for the most part, those things are kind of intertwined, and there's something that you have to evaluate very seriously if you're going to try to have children or end up marrying somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that, having a family has a lot of different meanings nowadays, man, because most of our families are single parent families. So whether you are a single father or a single mom, I mean, I consider my boys as being like that's my family. If somebody asks, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the family I have. And honestly, when you are an active dad and good dad involved in all those things, a lot of women find that attractive and will call you a
Hell
family
yeah.
man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many chicks I got off of my older son, especially not my little boy, because I don't fool like that. But my older son, man, look, when he was little, I used to play him on, just being with chicks and be around him, and women would, oh man, he's so respectful. He this and that. You a good dad. You da da da. And I would get women based off of that. So, women look at you as a family man when you are a single, active dad that has your kid and and do things with your kid. Women find that attractive out here in the dating world. So it's still a family, just a different
They
form.
should though. That is something that should be
Absolutely.
attractive to a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's no different than a woman displaying that she can cook. You know what I'm saying? Like that she can present herself in the type of way you would want your wife represented. Like
Yeah.
a man doing the thing. Like I love seeing single dad. Well, not it ain't got to be single dad, but active dads, like you said. Like when I'm at
Yeah.
the airport and I see the dads with the strollers and all the stuff. I remember having to do all those type of things. And I know that there's so many guys out there that don't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you always have to combat it with there are so many guys that know they got kids in town and don't put no money, no effort. Like,
Nothing.
will take care of somebody else's kids before they take care of their own.
That's the
So
that's the worst.
it's that seeing that kind of stuff and knowing that it exists that makes me want to show love to the guys that actually hold it down.
Absolutely, it's respect. You know what? And I think not enough light gets shined on the active fathers, or even the single fathers that's doing everything they can for their kids. That's the perfect example. You had your child young, you were a single father, and I don't think enough light gets shined. They always shine the light on the single mothers. Hey, they're hardworking. They do X, Y, and Z for the kids. You
Yeah,
know.
and that's cool. Like, hey man, give them whatever. I never really needed any of it. Like, it is what it is, whether I hear it or not, or whatever the
Right.
case. Like, hey man, they give them they flowers,
Yeah.
so to speak, because it's a tough job, man. When you sit back and you actually do it, like, and I mean full
Yeah.
time do it to where you a dad and you not a weekend dad where you only got them 2 days every 2 weeks or something like that, and you are a full active dad. It's a tough job, like to be responsible and be attentive to this child that's running around that you got to look after. Like, it's a tough job. So when you develop those skills, you develop that patience, you develop that eye as a dad, and that warmth and that love and that connection as a real active father. Women love to see it. Now my question is, what do y'all think about like co-parents, right? Considering the parent, they not together, considering that other parent as part of their family. What do y'all think about that?
It's a good question.
I was gonna say I've never had to deal with that situation. I would say no, because if they're co-parenting, that means that they just have a child together. That person could have a new family, or be living with somebody else or whatnot. So the child would be part of their family, but the other parent would not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I slightly disagree. I would say you technically you can consider that person family, right? Because once you have a child with the person, you're kind of joined together for the rest of your life. You're kind of joined to the hip because no matter what, that person is still going to be the parent to your child. That woman's still going to be the mother of your child no matter what, even if you get a new family. You marry somebody else and have kids with her.
But that don't mean she's family. Well, at least to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it depends on the level of the relationship and what has happened.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like I said, I know in certain situations where the baby daddy feels obligated to make sure the mom's straight and all those type of things.
Right.
Just because that's natural. You don't want, because you know that if she's not straight, then that directly hurts your child. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yep.
I can understand guys doing more for their baby mama than they have to simply for the fact that she's the primary person taking care of their kids.
No, I ain't with it. Like, and I'm in a situation, right?
Okay.
So listen, I don't. Maybe I look at her as like a fourth cousin or something like that.
Damn.
Like don't get me wrong. Like she is great. She is a great mom. We get along well. We don't have no issues. We don't argue. We don't have no drama. None of that. But family, like I don't call to make sure she okay. She don't call me and tell me her business and all this here. I only have one concern, and that's my kid. That's my son. Now, if she got a flat tire and my son with her, okay, where you at? And she can't, you know what I'm saying? She whatever. I'll go and I'll change the tire. No big deal because my son is with her. But if my son ain't with her, that's not my family. You
that makes sense.
Like
that's fair. That's fair, man.
I'm not hitting no more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're doing more than you have to do, for the sake of your son. So I can respect that.
I can too.
I mean, that's what you would expect. Like your baby mama call you with your child in the car, and she's stranded, and you like, I ain't call somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm going.
I can't
you
respect
call me on your own. Like, hey, my battery need to be changed, or you got some type of issue, man. What you calling me for? Like, I ain't your family. I ain't your man either. Like, nah, man. No, I can't. Like, because
it's so funny.
What?
If anybody ever say that phrase, "What you calling me for?" You know what I'm saying? That tells you everything you need to know about your status with that person, man.
Yeah, and if it's an emergency, maybe then, because I don't want to see nothing bad happen to her. You know what I'm saying? She's a great mom. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see nothing bad happen to her. But if it's just some old, stuff out, hey, can you change my ceiling fan? No.
Right. And that's understandable.
No, I ain't doing that. Like, I'd like to keep things, and here's why I believe, you know what I'm saying, that I don't have and haven't had any drama, any issues, because I stand by a 5-step process. Yeah, like I don't try to sleep with her. I don't talk about it, and so that eliminates a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings right there that I'm not even trying and haven't tried since my son was born. Like, so it eliminates a lot of things. Then number two, financially, I don't have to be told by a court. I don't have nobody asking me for this. This is something that I went to her with. Look, how you feel about this amount? I put it right there into your account, every month, whatever the case. Okay, cool. Number three, quality time. I want you to spend as much free time, have as much free time as I do. So we split time down the middle. Every month, he don't need no bag. He got everything he need at my home, just like at his other home. It's just like being here. The fourth thing, I don't ask her what she doing. I don't ask her about her business. Her business is her business. I don't ask when she coming home, where she going, or who she going with. It ain't got nothing to do with me. And the fifth thing is I always treat her with respect. I don't call her out her name. I always deal with her fair when it comes to my child. And if she needs to adjust some type of thing with the schedule, it's cool. I ain't got no issue with that. Yeah, I can pick him up. It's all good. I'll never call her out her name. With those 5 things there, you won't have any issues or any drama within your co-parenting relationship most times.
You don't drop a few gems there. I remember you did like for a whole week. You did videos on how to co-parent and everything. And
fellas, you might need to change your Instagram. You might need to be baby daddy expert or something.
Fellas, man, listen to that. He was dropping gems on how to cope. But I think it takes a level of emotional maturity, and really takes a level of focus to really execute and do these things like you said. Because some folks do the opposite. They every chance they get, they trying to get right back in the bed with their baby mom.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and a lot of times, if she's not, rational and reasonable and all those things, then that what you listed ain't gonna work anyway. Because
Yeah.
I've seen guys have the agreement in place and then get blindsided by, you know what I'm saying, requests and all type of
Damn.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
So the I mean, we've all seen baby mama drama.
Yeah.
We know
True.
how bad it
I
can
have
get.
as well.
I will say, SD, your situation sounds as about as crystal clean and smooth as anybody's that I've heard.
Facts.
So
And
yeah,
and that's really because, and this is no lie, but this is why I told the dudes, like, it's really because of how I stepped up and led with these here things. Whether it was the finances, whether it was the time spent, whether it was the respect, or just not asking her about her business. These are things that I stepped up to
does
her
she
with.
ask you
She didn't.
about yours? Did
No,
she?
she
I
no,
mean, when y'all
no.
first started, she never did that.
I can't. It's been so long. I mean, not really, because when I broke up, like, it was just, one of them things, and we just established boundaries right away. I established these here boundaries and different things that we just didn't do. So, as a man, like a woman, and it's about respect, right? And let me just say this real quick, like, it's a difference when you go to your child's mom before she got to come to you, whether it's for money or because you ain't spending time or something like that, or you being disrespectful, she don't like the way you talking to her, whatever the case. When you go to her, it lets her know that you are taking the initiative to be a responsible dad. Hey, this is how much I think it's such and such. What do you think about that? I can do it like this. And it's been that way, set in stone. When I get paid, she get paid right away into her account. That's the way I set it up. So,
Facts. That's
and
smart,
then,
man.
hey, time. I want my son just as much as you do, because I need to be there to imprint him on him. So this here's the schedule that I'm thinking that'll work. What do you think about it? Oh, that's fine. Me going to her and setting things up to see, how can you not respect that as a woman? When a guy is coming to you with finances and coming to you with time so that you get free time also,
Yeah.
and then not calling her out her name, calling her for sex or anything like that, how can you not respect that?
Yeah, that's how. I mean, in an ideal world, that's how it should go. But emotions come into play, man. Jealousy when they see you. I've seen situations where you moved on with the new woman and there's drama. You had another baby. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that happens and leads to the drama as far as baby mamas goes. But let's get back to the topic we're at hand, where we're just talking about the importance of being family oriented. One of the things that I see, in today's society that has, weakened the impact or our family structure is our mobility. Me and my wife are both live in Houston, but neither one of us are from here, so we've transplanted to Houston. And so that network of your cousins, your family members, your classmates, your old, you know what I'm saying? Like when you don't live in the city where you were originally from, it obviously has a major impact on your family, the strength of your family network. So I think that with technology has kind of led to the individualism that we see taking place today.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the boom of the single parent homes. I mean, back when we were young, it was a lot more families. You know what I'm saying? Dad, mom, all that type of thing. It was a lot more of that, along with what you're saying about moving. But nowadays, it's rare to have a two-parent household. Now, 70% of our children in the Black community are born to single moms, single parent households, no dad in the household. Like, so it's a lot different. And then when you grow up and that's all you see, the chances of you repeating it is very high. It's just like growing up in a home with an alcoholic father or a drug abusing father or a domestic violence father. It's like a 60-70% chance that you're going to be like that. So when you grow up in a single parent home, it's a high probability that you're gonna emulate those same things that you saw, which continues to separate the family unit of a father and mother in the home, which I'm a part of because I had kids without being married. So it's one of them things that's destroying our community. So
Yeah, no question. It definitely destroys the nuclear family structure, because I think both parents are essential to a child's life, whether you have a boy or a girl.
100%.
And I think it's needed, so I guess, for lack of better description, they can grow up on the right path, assuming both parents got themselves together, or
Mhm.
Yeah, I
have
mean,
that
but
proper
shoot,
guidance.
even that ain't a guarantee. You know what I'm saying? Like having two parents don't
No question.
necessarily guarantee that a kid is going.
I
Like you said, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Right.
Uh, it's interesting when we talk about that, because I remember in our era growing up in the 80s, um, seeing the posters and having discussions about teen parenting and things of that nature. Just say no with the drugs. So I was always kind of aware of what I didn't want to be growing up, and so it always made me think like, man, why wasn't other people as careful about getting a girl pregnant as I was, or why wasn't other guys taking it as serious like that?
Some don't care. I remember that story, Terry. I remember the story you always told about, not wasting a good nut. And unfortunately, that's far from an anomaly there. How many other folks have said, "Hey, fuck it, hey, I know her, I know her. She get pregnant, and no kid just go about their business like the kid ain't even there."
That's
That's
tough,
wild,
man.
man. That's
But
It
crazy.
is.
there's no guarantee that the kid is gonna be, not gonna go out and do some old wild stuff. But the statistics say that there's a far better chance. You know what I'm saying? When you look at any
Mhm.
statistic, whether it's kids in jail, dropouts, gang members, drug abusers, domestic violence kids, it's 70% if your
Yeah.
dad ain't around. It's
Even
70%
suicide.
chance, alcoholism and stuff like that. 70% chance if your dad ain't around. But if your dad is around, that is cut down drastically if you have a father in your home, because the mother and the father bring two different things, and that's what balances a kid out. When a kid don't have his dad around, he typically lacks structure, guidance, discipline, and emotional control. All things that are taught by the dad. The mom typically teaches sensitivity, affection, love,
Well,
and those types of things. And so that's why a lot of those boys grow up more
yeah,
feminine and more
but-
emotionally
right.
reactive, because they didn't have a dad around.
Now,
So go ahead, Jay.
just to piggyback what you said, SD, right? Think about they're growing up with a woman, right? A lot of times, how do women react? They react to something emotionally. So if that's what they see their mom or their grandma react to things emotionally. That's how they're gonna react to stuff,
Yeah.
emotionally, as opposed to with logic and reason, as most men would.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's so easy to identify those guys. You could, when these celebrity dudes, you see how they react and the stuff they do. You can tell the ones that got a dad in their life and the father, you know what I'm saying, a father figure. Like, just look at the amount of respect that they show, the deference and things of that nature that they show to other men. It's a blaring thing. Like, for example, I remember a clip of the NBA young boy talking about. He said something like, "I'm not feeling being a dad," or "I'm not feeling fatherhood," or something to that
Mhm.
effect. And when I saw it, I'm like, man, how a dude that then got like 10, 11 kids ain't feeling father? You rich, you know what I'm saying? You rich, so you
Right.
don't have the struggles of the average father, but you not feeling it. Like it's like, man, but how many more kids is he gonna create? You know what I
He in
mean?
his 20s. He in his 20s, man. Like,
But all them kids,
no.
that's all to keep. That's all to keep up with. I mean, both of you are fathers. I'm sure it's probably you probably say, damn, it's hard to keep up with this. I don't see how these people keep up with 4, 5, 6 kids.
I can't imagine it. I only got one. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess depending on the number of kids you have is how you divide up your attention and all that. But we were talking about earlier the amount of duties that the moms do. Like, man, I do my part. I do what I can. Like now I don't have as much to do because she's a teenager, so she can go get her own clothes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But when she was a baby, I remember, I'm filling up bottles. I'm doing all kind of little changing diapers, getting a diaper bag. Like I remember just so much traveling with the car seat in my car. You know what I'm saying? Like it was it's something. It was something that I was used to because I took her to daycare every day and stuff like that. So I can't imagine like the guys that only see their kids a couple of times throughout their life.
Yeah, that's
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I never want my daughter to be able to tell no story like that about me. Like, yeah, he lived about 10 miles away. He just never made time to come see me. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't have no respect for them type of dudes, man, personally speaking. Like, I just don't. Because, you know, for me, having a kid at 17, 18, I was a kid. So I don't want to hear no excuses about you wasn't ready or none of this. Man, ready. Man, I barely had hair on my nuts. I know I wasn't ready. So,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
You old enough to make a baby. You old enough, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Kevin.
Yep.
That's one of, you know, I think my perspective on teenage kids, being a middle school teacher, man, it changed my perception of teenage. I was like, man, I wasn't nothing like this at 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? 12 or 13. They smoking blunts and, you know, having kids and stealing cars, doing all kind of stuff that, like, it seems like their behavior was the same type of behavior that you would get from 17 and 18-year-olds from the 80s and 90s.
But I can see why. Just think about this. The first iPhone, we're 15 years removed from the first iPhone. So the average kid grew up right in the middle of the smartphone, you know, social media era. So a lot of them seeing this stuff in real time, and you know, they see the stuff on social media, on Instagram, Facebook. You know, they're influenced, so they're growing up faster than we grew up. You know, they got sex right in their phone. They got porn. They can get on Pornhub, Xvideos right there on their phone. You know, we had to use we got the videos from,
to find your auntie's porno tapes.
You know, somebody had it. You know, maybe our parents had a secret stash somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go get the red tapes from the video store.
Yep.
And sneak it back in.
Sneak behind the curtain.
Yeah. You gotta act like you looking at Top Gun, then sneak on back there.
Well, see, back in the day, man, somebody's grandpa had a fire Playboy Hustler collection.
Yep.
That was as good as They got Blacktail. Yeah, man. It's funny how much pleasure we got from just having a magazine. Compared to what the kids are doing now. But you're right, it is a completely different world. Oh man, it looks like we are up against the clock. So we're about to get up out of here, man. Before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast or our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.